60s, Ceausescu wanted to make Bucharest a port. He wanted to have a channel to travel by boat to the Black Sea, and therefore he flooded this area. There was a river valley, and he built some dams and let the villagers to know only a few days before starting flooding. Also in this valley there was fish farms, carp farms, and the farmers had no time to take out the fishes, so the carps remained in this flooded area. The lake has inside a lot of trees, houses, there are some graveyards, a low density, a very good water quality, a lot of food for them, so they became the biggest carps in the world.
The swim that we've chosen is at the dam end of the lake. Now both myself and Steve might have fished this water quite a few times, but this is one particular area that we've never fished. We don't know a great deal about it other than in May it generally does quite a lot of fish. Now I believe that this is where the old spawning grounds were for the original fish before the lake was dammed off. So as far as October is concerned, I'm not really sure what it's going to turn out like. It's one of the swims that we had high on our priority list, mainly because we don't see a great deal of guys in here at this time of the year. Just before we came here there was a good hit on the water. Alain Dano was fishing up by the islands, which was our preferred area. We fancy trying around there because he doesn't do a great deal of fish, that swim, but he does big fish. But obviously with Alain being in there for a week and absolutely slaying the place with 227 kilos as well as a 26 and a few other good backup fish, we had to look somewhere else, somewhere that hadn't had a lot of pressure. Now 2 weeks prior to us getting here the World Carp Cup was on, and since then we understand from a lot of the local anglers or the local people around the lake, nobody's fished this part of the water. There's a good wind blowing from right to left as well, and the fish, they do follow the wind, and from what I know about this particular area there are quite a few features. It's quite flat for around about 100 or so yards out in front of this swim, and then there's a big thick band of all sorts of snags and stuff where there's a lot of mussels, perhaps there's a lot of resident fish in there, and at the back of that area there's the old riverbed which a lot of the original fish do follow. Now we're not aiming to catch a great deal of fish on this trip, we're not looking at absolutely slaying the place. On previous trips that we've been in, myself and Steve have caught 40, 50, 60 fish, not big fish, so what we're doing is trying something a little bit different, looking for another area of water where hopefully we can just catch the original fish. What I'm going to do now is I'll pass you over to Steve, who's going to take a look at using the Echo Sounder as well as what sort of features we've got out in front of us.
Right, I'm all ready to go out and just have a look around, see what we've got out there. Before I actually get moving, I'll just go through a couple of things that we've got here. Echo sounders, asked a lot of questions about echo sounders. They're quite a basic thing really. What we've got here is an Eagle Magna 3. I've used this particular one for quite a few years now. Doesn't do anything fantastic, but it just does the job that you want it to do, and it does it well. Now, the mistake a lot of people make is looking for fish on these. Now, you will see fish out there. Wherever you go, you'll see fish showing up on them. For one thing, you can't be sure what fish they are. It just shows a fish symbol. It could be a pike, it could be a catfish, it could be anything. And also, a group of small fish could show up as a big one. So, generally, don't take too much notice of the fish symbols. Where these things come into their own is for finding the features that we're going to be looking for. Now, where you actually place your hook baits and your markers out in swims like this determines really how your session is going to go, whether you're going to be successful or not. So it's the important bit at the start of the trip. So we're going to go out there now. We've had a little bit of information about this swim before. We've looked at a map of it and we know that quite a bit of it's fairly barren. And then as we go out further, there's a riverbed there and some snags. They're the type of things that we generally look for. Old riverbeds, carp tend to use them as roadways. Snags are obvious holding areas. And the big barren areas could be devoid of fish for for weeks sometimes. So, you know, putting baits there, blindly fishing on these barren areas, could be a total waste of time and a waste of your trip. So that's just how important these are. The battery that we've got this Echo Sounder, it's not the one that generally comes with it, but it's one thing, it's a big battery, there's plenty of power in that, and it should last easily the duration of the trip. But secondly, it's a rechargeable battery. Now, I always carry a solar panel charger with me wherever I go, and if the battery gets low, it's simply clipping it on, you know, a matter of clipping it onto the panel for a couple of hours, battery's all charged up again, so you've got power all the time. That's very important. The marker, well, I mean, I use several different types of marker. This one is one of the most practical ones. It's the, well, for obvious reasons, it's called the H-block marker. Made my gardener tackle this one. Now the good thing about this one is that, as today, it's a little bit breezy today, and one of the problems is that when you find a spot, is actually getting your marker onto that spot and tying it up before you start drifting in the breeze. Now what will happen, I'll show you this in a little while anyway, is that you can actually drop this just over the side. The weight of the lead will actually unravel the marker, and it will unravel until the lead hits the bottom, and you'll have a tight line to that marker. So it marks the spot. You can actually just drop it off the side of the boat and let it unravel itself, and it'll mark the spot perfectly as you're drifting away. One other thing about this marker, it's okay, obviously being orange, it's easy to see during the day, but one of the problems you're going to have is seeing it at night. For that reason, we've added you know, a little strip of reflective tape to either side of it. Now in a good beam, you know, a good torch beam, you'll see that from sort of 250 yards away at night, and it's easy to pick up your markers in the dark. So that's basically it. You know, that's all you need to actually find your spots, mark them and get fishing. So let's go and do it. Right, we've come about 150 yards from the bank, something like that, and as we expected really, most of that's been very barren, fairly featureless, flat, no signs of any fish of any sort anyway. But now we're just coming up to the first little stumps, not far from the riverbed here, and this is where it starts to get a little bit more interesting. We know at some stage there was a lot of trees out here, and most of them have been taken out, but there's obviously little remnants, little branches down there, and it's them we're just starting to see here. The depth's just dropping off as well. It's been fairly uniform all the way out, and now it's just starting to come up. Yeah, we're just hitting it now where it drops down the slope into the old riverbed. Now there's quite a marked difference in depth here. Now it's that ledge, and just around where these trees used to be, that's where I'm expecting fish to patrol along. That'll be a good spot. So what I'll do is just about right as it is now, so I'm going to drop a marker here and then have a little look around, but this looks a pretty good spot. It's as good as anywhere. So there we go. This will be spot number one. So I'll just drop that over the side. That's unravelling on the spot. As I said in the breeze, there's not much of a breeze, but even a little breeze like this, it's enough to make the boat drift. And now we're already 10 foot away from where I dropped the marker, so imagine if I was trying to tie one up on the spot where you think you are is totally different once you're actually getting out there to fish. And really, you need to be precise. If there's one little spot there that you think is the spot, you need to mark it. I've always stated snags are fairly good features. Fish always like to hang around snags. If I am going to fish near a snag, what I do is actually drop the marker right on the snag. Now you don't want to drop your rig into the snag, and you don't want to fish getting around that snag because you're likely to lose it. So the best thing to do is actually drop that marker right on the snag, and then wherever you are, you know where that snag is exactly, because that marker is right on top of it. So you can fish, normally what we do is fish about 10 yards away from it just to be on the safe side, but you can bait up to the snag and try and draw the fish out. That's the idea.
Whilst we're out here at Romania, we're using 2 different types of bait. I'll start with the boilies. Basically they're rolled to 24 mils and they've been air dried as well. And if you can hear the sound of them, they're absolutely rock hard, absolutely ideal for out here. These will last easily 2 to 3 weeks in hot temperature, in moist temperature, whatever the conditions. So these are air dried, and basically that's just taking all the moisture out of the bait to stop them going off. Because they're fresh baits, I prefer to use fresh baits rather than preserved baits. Rock hard, withstands the crayfish that we've got out here. Even though it's quite cold, there's quite a lot of crayfish activity at the moment. We've also had quite a few problems with small fish like bream and also some crucian carp that are out here. So those help to withstand that. We're using 2 on the hair. Now the main base is the particle mixes. And basically this is just a hinders mix. It's called the French mix. There's all sorts of little goodies in there. There's some crushed maize, there's some Niger seeds, some aniseed, some tares, some hemp, all sorts of stuff. And basically all we're doing with that is scalding it to prepare it, because we all know about the problems with particle baits swelling up inside fish. But basically that is just the main carpet feed. It keeps the attention of the small nuisance species like the bream and like the crucians away from the boilies, and it also adds as an extra attraction to the carp. Show the other side of her. It's really incredible to believe that the growth is 75 pounds plus in this lake. So there's another 30 pounds on top of this one. This one weighing at 46 pounds. Second 40 of the trip. Gorgeous.
These are the ones we said we was here for at the start of the trip. 30 kilos of the monsters, and we do think they're out there. But at the moment, this is the 4th 20 kilo plus we've had between the 2 of us on this session. Until yesterday morning, I'd had very little action, and then I had a 45 to get the ball rolling, and then this morning at 5 o'clock it went off with this beauty. 47.12. This is an absolute peach of a fish, this one. It's lovely. Didn't fight too much, but if all the big fish fought like the way this one did, I wouldn't be complaining. Picked up a double 24mm hook bait, air dried, and that's really been the key to a lot of these fish. The double 24mm quality bait, and we're getting quality fish with them. The wind's dropped off a bit now. Conditions are looking really good, and I'm sure we've got a few more of these to come yet. Got a few days left. And things are just looking good. It's warming up, the wind's dropping, and these chaps are feeding. So I don't think this will be the last. Steve Riggs, Noddy Rig. Good rig. Another good fish, 36.5 pound. On the same rod that the 47 came on earlier. Hadn't been out there for 4 hours. And we were just saying how good it looked for a bite. Had very few bites during the daytime. But this is about as good as it's looked. And we were just talking about it when this one went off. Brilliant fight. Got snagged up a couple of times, but we won the day. And this was the result. Cracking fish, not a scale out of place. But she's done her bit, so she can go back now. Thank you very much, darling. Go and tell your grandma we're after her, because we know she's out there. Right, just before we put the rig back out, we'll just have a little look at the actual setup, what we just had this fish on. We use fairly sort of tough rigs for this type of fishing. I mean, this lake itself it's got bigger, tougher snags than we've ever come across. Everything out there is covered in mussels, so it does need to be up to the standard. Now the leader is actually 70 pound mono, which may sound a bit excessive, but up against razor sharp mussels, you need it. It needs something that's going to withstand that sort of treatment. Now the lead, that might look a bit alien to a lot of people, but with this lake itself, the mud that covers the bottom is, for some reason, it's extremely slippery, and unless the lead is plugged in, it tends to slide quite easily across the bottom. So these gripper sort of type leads, watch leads they call them, that lays on the lake bed and just does as the name suggests, really, it grips the bottom. Now the hook length, we spoke about the leaders need to be tough. Well, hook length's the same, so I use a combi link. Now the first part of it, as usual, has got to withstand the mussels. Obviously you don't want that in a fish's mouth, so the bottom half is down to 45 quicksilver. Again, it's got to withstand the snags, but it's got to be a little bit soft. You've got to think of the carp as well. That's just joined with a swivel with a ring attached. Looking at the hook, size 2, big hooks for big lakes, big fish, very sharp, very tough. Just do the job. They're always good. They seem to stay in well, hook the fish well, and you don't get a lot of hook pulls, which is quite important when the fish are getting snagged. Boilies, double 24mm boilie, that's what's been doing the damage this time. I've used different rigs on here, snowmans, single bottom baits, but this time that one's doing the business. All the big fish are coming to that. The only thing I do add to the hook, little piece of rubber tubing that holds the baits tight to the bend of the hook, but if a fish wants to blow the rig out, that bit of rubber tubing just slides up there, gives the baits a bit of play and tends to keep the hook in a bit more. And that's about it. That rig's ready to go out and catch me a monster.
Oily?
No, not good.
Right, well, we've had a bit of success last night in the shape of this one. It's not a monster, but it's an awesome fish. It's weighed in at 48 pounds. It's freezing cold as well at the moment. Really, really cold. Very, very strong wind blowing. All night it's been blowing. It's been blowing a gale, in fact. I think I recognise the fish. I think it's one that was caught earlier in the year by another English guy called Rob Mooney, and I think it weighed 51 pounds. This particular carp's got quite a few identifiable markings. Its tail's been damaged at some point in its life. which is obviously the first marking that we can identify them on. And also there's quite a few irregularities in the scale pattern down the bottom end. If you look at this, it's belly area. The pattern is very unmistakable.
I'll go under there and do it then if you like.
Yeah, okay.
No problem.
I think I agree.
Put some water on the mat, please. Put some water on the mat for us. There's some bowl here. Nice one. Can we get some more water as well?
Yeah. Can't actually see it sort of side on.
With a board on the top, I had trouble getting in the net.
That's a cracker. Oh, that's gorgeous. Gorgeous.
As soon as he's up, go and shoot away.
Yeah.
One of the originals, Crowy. One of them glorious originals, fella. Isn't it magnificent? Shoot away, John. Isn't that glorious?
Okie dokie.
Oh, you've got some good ones there.
I'm sure that's how you.
Yeah.
Well, there are about 36 fish between
Have
us.
you? Really?
There we go.
It's beautiful that.
John lost a few till he got outside of the swim sorted.
Yeah. Grafting again, through the little
Oh,
ones.
hello. We had about 10 or 11 fish last night.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
could we have another one now?
You go for it, John, if that's you. I ain't worried about this, mate.
It is, it's down.
Just take a couple on
Oh,
my
yeah,
big
it's going.
as well,
Yeah,
mate.
it's
That's-
going. I've got your. Oh, the tip is going down.
couple of quick shots. Oh, on my ordinary. Which camera is that? On my ordinary one, Steve will do.
Is this your ordinary one?
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's my other one.
It's
Yeah.
not the big lens.
Yeah, a
not
couple
big
of quick shots.
Right.
That's all, man. Just looked nice. A couple more, Steve. Now, John tells me that Si had to talk you into staying in the swim. I thought that's new for crowing him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was alright, miserable. I was.
He was alright though.
You were doing a glum, were you?
I was. Yeah.
There was fish in the swim, mate, and there was in front of me, and he wanted to move, but in the end he stayed and they moved in front of him. So he caught 45. Caught 45 in the morning he was going to move.
Well done, geezer. Well, it's all action here, isn't it? That's it. That's good shot. That's it, end of.
Was it?
Yeah.
So then, mate, all good things have to come to an end.
Yeah, they sure do.
We've had 2 weeks out here.
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed it?
It's been great. Yeah, it's been all right, mate. I mean, we come out here with 2 aims in mind, didn't we? You know, I mean, obviously we said at the very start the 30 kilos were the very big fish, and that's what we was aiming for. 20 kilo fish we'd be very happy with.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we've caught a few of those, haven't we?
Yeah, it's been a great trip. I've enjoyed it. I think one thing that I've really learnt about the water is that if you can stay away from some of the snaggy areas, like Shepherd's Cottage and places like that, then you know you've got a chance of catching a lot more of the originals. And we've watched Tim again today catching a few big fish in that area.
Yeah, Tim showed the way to do it again. You know, he's got this place sussed, doesn't he?
Yeah.
In a way, we've tried to fish a little bit his way. You know, he's sort of fished here a certain style, which is a different style to most, you know, the way most other people fish here. And he's had the results to sort of back it up. And you know, we've fished here a few times now. Between us, we've fished here quite a few times. And the amount of action we had is incredible during those trips, but we haven't had the big fish. And we fished here purposely targeting the big fish this time, and to a certain extent we've sort of achieved it, haven't we? You know, which is sort of, it's pleasing in that way.
Yeah, it's been great, a great trip on that respect, mate. So here's to the next trip, mate.
Yeah, it's been good, mate.
Maybe
here's
in
to
May.
the next one.
Yeah, maybe in May. Dream of that 30 kilo fish.
Yeah, we'll be back for more, mate, won't we?